Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation of Bara Maha continues, and the month now is the month of Katik, October-November time frame, and it goes as follows. Katik Karam Kamavane, dos na kahu jog, परमेश्वर ते भुलिया व्यापन सभे रोग वे मुख होए राम ते लगन जन्म विजोग खिन मह कौड़े होए गए जितड़े माया भोग विच न कोई कर सकै तिस थैं रोवै रोज कीता कछु न होवई लिखिया धुर संजोग वडभागी मेरा प्रभ मिलै ताह उतरै सभै वियोग नानक को प्रभ राख ले मेरे साहिब बंदी मोच कत्तिक होवे साध संग बिन सह सभै रोग Katik Karam Kamavane dos na kahu jog. So the message for the month of Katik is simply this: don't blame others for the outcome of your actions, especially the unpleasant outcomes. Karam Kamavane dos na kahu jog. You are responsible for your own actions. And when actions beget unpleasant results, it is because one has acted out of a lack of self-awareness. Paramesar te bhuliya, forgetful of thinking from the guidance of the self, but acting out of the ego. Well, that is the root of all maladies. Paramesar te bhuliya, vyapan sabbe rog, all maladies will afflict you if you act out of self, the ego self, and don't act out of guidance of the her self. Simple as that. It is what compass do you have in your hand? What direction are you moving in? Ve mukh hoye Ram te lagan janam vijog khin meh kaude hoye gaye jitde maya bhog. Well, ve mukh hoye is to turn away from Ramate, from the self, brings many a lifetime of separation. Laggan janam vijog. We can understand this to mean that once you get caught in the ego, it becomes extremely difficult to free yourself, because you're then mesmerized and you get caught in a toxic environment. Your life becomes toxic, and therefore, khin meh kaude hoye gaye. In an instant, the pleasures of Maya bhog, turn bitter. So living an ego-based existence is toxic, and the fruits are bitter. So the Guru is stressing the need for acting out of wisdom. And he says, when that happens, vich na koi kar sakke, kis thai rohe roj. Once that happens, once you're caught in the ego, no one can intervene. You have nowhere to turn to make your entreaties. Kis thai rohe roj. Kita kichu na hovai, likhya tur sanjog. Well, since you have sown the seeds, the effects are going to play out. But here, there is a suggestion that there's nobody who can intervene, and there is a suggestion here that the problem may also contain the seeds of the solution. because Gurbani says, how mein dheerag rog hai, daru bhi isma hai. The solution to how mein inheres in it. Keep that in mind. Vatpagi mera prabh mile. Good fortune. Good fortune comes through motivation, through doing something the right direction. Vatpagi mera prabh mile. Should I find myself, ta utre sab abhiyog, then I can toss off this situation that I'm in of separation. Nanak ko prabh rakh leo, mere sahib bandi moch. So Nanak makes a plea. Please protect me, my Prabh, my master, mere sahib, from self-bondage, bandi moch. You have to remember that when Gurbani speaks of bondage, bondage from what? It's basically self-bondage. The ego has tied itself down because there is a fundamental flaw in which it looks at the world and gets caught up, wrapped up in the fast-changing, never-still world of the senses. You're trying to grasp something unchanging in a constantly changing world. And this temporal flux that we are in is what causes our sorrow and unhappiness. So you have to be able to see and reflect on this temporal flux, to be able to cut across it, to see through it, and come face to face with that unseen, with that invisible, intangible, but limitless, infinite self that is permeating the universe. That is, in fact, the ultimate cause. That is the magic of this life, that you have simultaneously a changing world and an unchanging self. So you have to understand that. So you do not want to be perched on a moving platform because you'll never be stable. You want to find yourself placed on a steady platform, and that is the self. It is like the spoke of a wheel. You don't want to be on the outer edges because that is constantly moving. But the inner spoke is moving at a much, much slower pace. It's much more stable. So there's no stability in the senses, and the mind is constantly in a state of disequilibrium. So for the month of Katik, put all else aside. Katik hove sad sang bin se sabbe soch. Sariyan sochaं chhad deo, bin se. Just let go of all other thoughts and place yourself in the true congregation. Because it is in the true congregation of the Guru that you will learn how to perceive and how to intuit, if you will, this invisible presence of which we are a part. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.